Hi guys, so today we are focusing on balance and stability. This is something that no matter where you are in your fitness journey, it's always good to revisit this because having good balance and stability is kind of the foundation for all of our movements, right? Because if we don't have a stable base of support, right, it's going to be really difficult to go through movements appropriately. Balance and stability support or really need, I should say, require core strength, good joint health and mobility. And so today's workout is not going to have any equipment. It's going to be all body weight. And we're going to be focusing on these two things in particular, right? To really make sure we are doing our part to keep our core strong, our joints healthy. And then when you are really solid with your stability and your balance, that's going to allow you to progress in your workouts, to be able to lift heavier, to be able to work kind of asymmetrical movement patterns, different progressions that can help you to get more out of your workouts. Plyometric movements, right? Being able to do more jumping and things like that. All of that relies on, balance and stability. So we'll start with the warm up and then we're going to go through 5 blocks. Each block will have one particular exercise that we're going to go through 4 rounds of. Today our work rest ratio is 45 seconds of work to 15 seconds of recovery. And we're going to be working different core movements in that challenge balance and stability, and then also a couple of strength based movements that require balance and stability as well. So let's go ahead and we'll get warmed up. We're just going to work some shoulder rolls. Okay, so we're just going to take those shoulders down and back. All right, just get some movement at the joints there. All right, so just roll forward and then circle it up and back. We'll just stay here for a few more reps and then we'll switch directions. Let's go ahead and take it forward now. All right, so just reverse that movement. Shoulders back, up, and then down. Go ahead and take a little bit wider base of support with those legs, and we're just going to do some torso twists here, just to get that back opened up a little bit, get that core rotating just side to side, and you can just kind of press onto the toes, the outside leg. All right, we're going to work some hip openers here. All right. I will be showing different modifications today, in particular for the various balance type movements we're going to be doing where we might be standing on one leg or things like that. So you guys will definitely have options. And if you find yourself wobbling a lot, don't get frustrated. That is part of the journey. It's good to wobble some when you're working on your balance and stability because that's your body's way of kind of recognizing and adjusting. But again, I will show options, so that way you can kind of meet yourself where you're at if it's something you need to keep working on. And hopefully by continuing to come back to this workout, you will see improvements from week to week. Right now, I want you to come down into a deep squat. So let that butt drop to the floor like you're in a catcher position for baseball. And what we're gonna do is just reach one arm up and just get a nice twist through the thoracic spine there. All right, and then come back to that little prayer position and then twist and reach other direction. Okay, so we're getting the hips and inner thighs opened up as well here. Again, getting that nice rotation through the spine. All right, let's go one more each side. All right, we're gonna come down to a high plank position here. Get that runner's lunge or that world's greatest stretch going. So shoulders right over those wrists. Step the foot to the outside of the hand and then just reach it up and then reach it back down and through. All right, we'll just continue to open it up. Continuing to get a nice stretch through that spine, getting the hips open here as well. Let's get one more on this side and then we'll go to the other side and then we're getting into it. All right, other leg, step it forward to the outside of those hands. Reach it up, reach it through. If you guys have a mat or a soft surface for our first exercise, that would be good. Because we're gonna be laying down on the ground. All right, let's get one more here. And we're gonna be starting with some glute bridges, but single leg glute bridges. So go ahead and have, a comfortable surface that you can work on there. Actually, let me show you this before I start the time. So we're just gonna come down. We're gonna have feet flat, arms by your side, knees are at 90 degrees, right? And then all we're gonna do is we'll start with the right leg or the right foot pressing down, right? We're actually gonna take this leg nice and straight. Okay, so left leg straight. We're gonna lift the hips, squeeze the butt, and then lower back down. Okay, we're just gonna work this motion. So I want you to think about keeping your knees in line, if you can, right, as you press up. So we'll be there for 45 seconds, then we'll switch to the other leg. All right, so go ahead and come on down here. We are working. So right foot down, left leg extended. So lift and squeeze the butt, lower back down. If you want to, you can lift the toes on that grounded foot a little bit. All right, and we're just finding a nice controlled tempo here. We don't need to go super fast today. You're probably not gonna break much of a sweat, okay? But this kind of training, again, is so good for our body. At any point that you are in your fitness journey, we can always work on that balance and stability. We got 10 more seconds here. If it's too hard to keep that other leg straight, you can bend it a little bit, but I do want you to keep the foot hovering. All right, so little rest here, about 15 seconds in between each move. We're gonna go back now to the other side. So left foot down, right leg extended, knees in line if you can. Goal is to try to keep those hips in line as well. We don't want one side tipping in one direction or the other. So, yep, again, on that press up, really put your mind on your butt cheeks and think about squeezing. All right, so as you press up, squeeze the butt cheeks. Okay, both of them are squeezing, but we're kind of emphasizing the one that has that foot grounded. On our leg that is straight, that whole leg is actually squeezing. Quads flexed, butt squeezing. And if you feel like you need more of a challenge on any of these moves, like with this one even, you can go a little quicker. You could hold for a few seconds at the top, take it down slow, and then as soon as that butt taps the ground, go right back up. All right, take it out here. You can straighten those legs. We're gonna do one more set on each side, and that's gonna wrap up our first block. All right, so just getting those glutes activated, and working on that stability. All right, with that single foot to the floor. So we're back, so that right foot planted, left leg extended. Another mod on this is you could bring the leg up higher if you needed to. All right, that's gonna take some of that work out of the straight leg and allow you to really focus on just getting that nice butt squeeze. Nice challenge on that one, like I said. If you can keep those knees in line, it's challenging you to really keep that straight leg contracted and squeezing and engaging all those muscles. We got less than 10 seconds here. Inhaling as we lower, exhaling as we press up. All right, we're going to our left side to finish out this block. Hopefully that butt's starting to burn a little bit. Like I said, I'm not gonna sweat a ton today, but you are gonna burn. Your core is gonna be challenged, all right? So don't let that fool you just because you're not sweating a ton. All right, we're back to that other leg. Again, if you need to take that leg higher, that's totally fine. Hips in line. Inhale and exhale. Careful not to overextend at the hips. We don't want to press them too high because then we'll compromise that lower back. Okay, belly button pulling into the spine as we're doing this to think about keeping that core engaged. 10 more seconds here. And then we'll get a 1 minute rest and transition into block 2. Last one for good measure. All right, well done. All right, so lucky for you, we're gonna stay on the floor for this next block. We're gonna be working a dead bug. Dead bug, again, is a great move to work on for core strength. We're here for a minute until that transition, you guys. So, and then working kind of opposite limbs, okay, moving in motion together there, all right? But building that core strength helps to improve your stability and your mobility. So again, core kind of is at the foundation of everything. But on this one, we're gonna take our knees to 90 degrees. I don't want them coming in close, I want them right at 90. We're gonna take the elbows to 90 degrees. Lift the head, neck, and shoulders off the ground, pressing that lower back into the ground, belly button toward the spine. We're gonna take opposite arm and leg, extend to straight, and then we come back in. Opposite arm and leg, extend to straight, come back in. Okay, we're starting for real in 10 seconds when you hear that next transition. All right, so let's get set in position. 90 at the elbows, 90 at the knees, and opposite limbs, extend as straight as you can get it, hovering over the ground without touching down. Inhale on the open, exhale on that close. This is definitely a move that you can easily progress if you want to, add a weight into your hands, anything along those lines. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Whew. All right, you guys, we got 3 more of those to go. You can give your head and neck kind of a little roll here. I notice that. I feel like I start to tense up a little bit when I have my head, neck, and shoulders elevated for a long period of time off the floor. So just give a little shake there. All right, we're back in it. 90-90 at the elbows and the knees. Lower back stayed glued down. To help that lower back stay glued down, think about pressing your ribs down towards your hips. Slow and controlled. The slower you go on this, the harder it actually is, because it forces you to stabilize and to feel that burn start to kick in as those muscles start to fatigue. We got 6 seconds here. 45 seconds is a decent amount of work, you guys. All right, halfway, 2 down, 2 to go. Again, roll that head, neck, side to side if you need to. Or just shake your head no. It's another way you could think of it. All right, we're going for set 3 coming up here. All right, ready, back to 90-90. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. If you have to put your head, neck, and shoulders down, if anything is starting to feel like you're straining there or it's hurting, that's totally fine, okay? By peeling them up, it gives us a little more upper ab engagement, but if you're feeling anything compromised in the head, neck, shoulder region, then no, there's no harm in laying it back down there. Just have to make sure, again, your back stays glued to the ground. That's the biggest thing. All right, we got 1 more here. All right, so do that little shake. Shake your head, no, side to side. Stretch it nice and long if you need to. And then last set, coming up. Here we go, back to it. Improving that core strength is going to help you in all areas of your movement. Helps us to move better, lift heavier. As I said earlier, doing more complicated movement patterns, whether it's different compound movements, whether it's one-sided movements, whether it's adding jumps or impact. If you have a strong core, again, that is the foundation. All right, well done, you guys. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed your time on the floor there. And actually, we're not done yet. We're gonna be on the floor a little bit later too, but we are gonna come standing for this next move for block 3. Block 3, we are working a single leg Romanian deadlift, okay? So I'm gonna show you some options on this, right? But I'm gonna start on that left leg, soft bend at the knee. I'll show from the side here. What we're gonna do is we're going to hinge at the hip, and if you can get that back leg nice and straight, that heel in line with the butt, that's what we want. And then you can come and touch down here, okay? I'm gonna show some progressions later, but right now I just want you to work on that motion, keeping those hips square, getting the heel in line with the butt, and you can kind of use those arms to help. Right now, if you get to a point where you are just wobbling and falling all over the place and just not getting through any kinds of reps, what you can do is you can stagger your stance, press the toes on that back leg to the floor, and just work on that hip hinge movement and squeezing the butt as you lift, right? So tap that foot down if you need to. First set, we're in it. Pick a leg, stay on it. Okay, so again, goal is to try to get that back heel in line with the butt and the shoulders, really. I wobbled a little there. That's okay. That's good. Again, if it's happening a little bit here and there, that's fine. But if it's happening so much you're unproductive in the move, take this option with that staggered stance, that hinge. Okay, with that staggered stance, you're still putting most of the work in your lead leg. Those back toes are just really gently touching down there to help you kind of stabilize, but still focus, keeping most of the work in that lead stabilizing leg. All right, wow, we felt that one for sure. We're gonna switch to the other leg now. All right, so same thing, soft bend, hips stay square, right? And again, goal is to get the heel in line with the butt, in line with the shoulders, and then just tap back to the floor. So hinge at the hips, heel rises, back to the floor. Keep those hips pointing down at the ground. What happens a lot in this movement is we tend to open up, and then we kind of dump into this hip too much. We want to try to keep those hips pointing down. Okay, keep that core engaged. And really, that butt cheek is working too. So we're keeping that leg nice and straight, as well as the stabilizing leg. Obviously, it's getting some work, most of the work. Again, if you need that staggered stance, right here, hinge and back, hinge and back. Whoop, one more here. Good. All right, now for the last two, I'm gonna show a progression. If you're pretty good with your balance on that, what we're gonna try is same thing, hinge, but we're gonna try to bring that knee forward to a balanced position here. All right, so soft bend at the knee, hinge at the hip, squeeze the butt to come back up, and then keep that knee high, right? If you still need to do the tap down, not a problem. If you still need to do that staggered stance, you could even try that staggered stance with the knee drive. That way you're getting to work on the balance as you hinge forward and as you come back up. So take your pick here, lots of options, you guys. I'm gonna go back to the progression with the extension and then that knee drive. Core staying tight, belly button into the spine, thinking about your core engaging helps a lot with balance. All right, other side, and then we're done with this one. So same thing, if you want the progression, you're feeling strong in it, extend, knee drive, or stay with the original, or go staggered, hinge, knee drive. All right, take your pick. But again, make sure those hips on that hinge forward, stay pointing down. I lost my balance there, it's okay. Bring that knee back up. And that's what we want, guys. Again, it's a good thing to wobble some. It's your body's way of trying to correct itself and kind of dealing with that challenge. It's going to help to improve moving forward, help to improve that mobility and strength of the joints and through all your muscles that are helping to stabilize. You drive. All right, told you it would burn. All right, we're done with 3 blocks already. Good news is we're going back down to the floor. Maybe not so good news is it's gonna be a challenging move. So we have 1 minute here to get ready for it. We're gonna be coming into a side plank. I'm gonna show you some different options. Right, side plank, we want our elbow right under our shoulder. We want our hips lifted. hips stacked, shoulders stacked, ankles stacked, okay? This is the movement. We're gonna take that top leg and we're gonna lift it and we're gonna lower it, okay? If that is a little much for you right now, you're gonna take your inside knee, bend it to 90 degrees, lift the hips. We still want the hips stacked, we still want the shoulders stacked. It's just we only have the one leg extended now, so ankles aren't stacked. We're gonna lift and lower, okay? Nice and slow and controlled. Make sure, again, shoulders and hips stay stacked. You're not leaning forward or rolling back. Core stays engaged. And oh, just kidding, we got 12 more seconds. We're gonna go in 10 seconds now, all right? Okay, but we're working that stability, right? Keeping that shoulder nice and stable, okay? Challenging the balance because we got the leg moving at the same time. All right, so find the stacked shoulders and hips, lift and lower. Think about squeezing your side booty right here, okay? As you lift, think about keeping that core nice and tight. Inhale on the lift. I'm sorry, inhale on the lower. Exhale on the lift is what I meant to say. All right, we got 15 more seconds here. I know this is a hard one. So if you start to lose kind of your balance there or feel like something's gonna give out, drop to that inside knee. Take it to 90 degrees. Faster up. Oh my goodness. Yep, just in time. I'm gonna just switch to the other side here. All right, so this time we're going, same thing, elbows right underneath the shoulder. Shoulders stay stacked, hips stay stacked, ankles stacked. Let me show your option again. Bend that inside leg to 90, and then lift and lower. Exhale, inhale. Probably noticed I don't have my shoes on for this. You can have shoes on if that feels better for you. But sometimes when we're doing movements like this where we're not, running all over the place or, we're pretty much kind of stationary through a lot of these, sometimes it's good just to have your feet kind of connected right to the floor. Exhale, inhale. And actually sometimes that can even help a little bit to improve your balance, since it's literally just foot right to the surface. Sometimes depending on your shoe, they might be a little inclined or, whatever's the case there. So sometimes that can actually make it a little more challenging. All right, we are over halfway, thank goodness. This one's no joke. So really, core focus movements here, really it's a full body movement, but again, core strength is being challenged, balance, stability. We hit a leg focused move. And then for our last move coming up, we're gonna be working a little upper body. Stability, 6 more seconds. Well, really it's gonna be total body, but we're gonna get a little extra work for the upper body. All right, last one here. We get a nice 1-minute recovery coming up. All right, same deal. Ankles, hips, shoulders, stacked. And here we go. Take your time. Don't need to rush it. It might be tempting to just let that foot flop down. Makes it harder to have to control it and go slowly on that lower. So that's good for you. Stay with it. 15 seconds. Take that inside knee if you need to. Just keep going. We're almost there. Last rep. Oh my goodness. Great job, you guys. All right, 1 minute to transition. All right, we got one more block here. I hope you don't get mad at me for this one. We're gonna do push-ups. Push-ups are a great way to work on stability. And then we're gonna throw in a balance challenge by lifting an arm and leg. Let me show you what we're gonna be doing here, guys. So options for sure. So let me show the original option, and I'll show you another option. So we're gonna do a push-up, nice slow push-up. We're gonna hold for a second or two, press up. Once we press up, we're gonna reach opposite arm and leg once, twice, and then do it again. If you need an option, you're gonna come down to the knees for your push-up, okay? Then you're gonna come into more of a tabletop bird dog position where we're going opposite from there, okay? So on the toes or the knees, and then same thing if you're doing the full version. It'll just be right on the toes versus on the knees. All right, we are in it. So strong push-up position. We're gonna go down nice and slow. Hold, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, press up. From there, opposite arm and leg lift. Opposite arm and leg lift. Hips stay square to the ground, right? Down nice and slow. Hold, press back up. Opposite arm and leg. Yeah, I wobbled a little there, that's okay. You can take the feet a little wider if you need to. Let me show our option here. Push up, hold for a second or two, press up, reset in that tabletop, opposite arm and leg, opposite arm and leg. Hips and chest stay square to the ground. Stay with it. Last one, and just in the nick of time. All right, we got 3 more to go. All right, again, big thing on this is we want hips and chest staying square to the ground. Imagine we have headlights there and you want them pointing down the whole time. We don't want to twist open, those lights shine out to the side, right? Elbows down and back like an arrow. Hold for 2, press up for 1. Find that balance. Core tight, squeezing the butt cheek on the leg that's lifting. Down nice and slow. Hold for a second, press up. Opposite arm and leg. Opposite arm and leg. I'll show you guys another great option on the push-up. You can lower down, then drop the knees, then press up, okay? That's a great way. It's kind of like a middle version. Okay, if you're not able to push yourself up completely from the toes yet, down, drop the knees, push up, and then opposite arm and leg. All right, set 3 coming up. Stay with it. We're almost there. All right, back to that strong push-up. Elbows back like an arrow. Hold for a second or two. Press it back up. Squeeze and squeeze. You don't have to lift super high in that. Hold. Press back up. Opposite. Hips and chest square to the ground. Elbows back like an arrow. Hold. Press up. Lift. And lift. I'm going to show you that other version, that middle version. Lower down. Hold. Drop the knees. Push up. Opposite arm and leg. Hips and chest stay square to the ground. Great job, you guys. Let's get this last one. Lift. That was a quick one. And lift. All right. One more set, and then we're done with that. We'll go to our cool down. Shoulders, chest, all might be burning a little bit. So that means it's working. All right. Here we go. Let's finish strong. Elbows back like an arrow. Hold. Press up. Opposite arm and leg. Good. All right, let me show that mod version again from the knees. Because I'm not going to lie, I need it right now. I'm feeling it in my shoulders. Nice and straight and strong on that bird dog. Go back to the toes. Hold. Press up. All right, we have time, I think, for one more good one here. Okay, so stay with it, finish it strong. Down, hold for a second. Press up, reach, and reach. Holy smokes. I am sweating a little bit, actually. I lied to you guys. Said you probably wouldn't sweat on this one. But I'm definitely sweating a little here. So, we're just in child's pose. Letting the arms get a nice stretch here. Lats get a nice stretch. Great job, you guys. All right, so let's come to fingertips facing the back of the room. Let's take those knees, drop them to the floor, 90 degrees at the knees, and then just rotate through to the other side. Get that hip mobility working. If you struggled through today's workout, that's okay. Don't get frustrated. Okay, don't beat yourself up. It's all uphill from here, right? You can only get better. So keep coming back to this, right? If you find yourself having to take the modifications a lot, that's okay. If you keep doing this, you'll get stronger at it. You'll get better. You'll improve that stability and that balance and that core strength. All right. Let's go ahead, come to a kneeling position. We're gonna step one leg forward. All right, we're gonna reach it nice and high. And then we're gonna shift it back. Get those hamstrings a nice stretch. Definitely got our hammies and glutes firing today with a single leg RDL, those glute bridges. Even on that last move, lifting that leg, that required glute strength, hip strength. All right, go ahead and take that other leg forward, tuck that tailbone, reach it up, and then hinge it back. Settle in, feel that hamstring, get a nice stretch. Sweep it forward, reach it up, and sweep it back, sink into it. Let's get one more here. All right. Go ahead, come to a seated position. Take those legs out nice and wide. I want you guys to take those fingers, interlace them, and just press them down and back to open that chest up a little bit. You can even take them kind of back that way if that helps you to open that chest up some. All right, go ahead, take those arms out to the side. I want you to twist, and I want you to try to reach toward your toes, actually toward the outside of the toes if you can, as you're hinging forward. Okay, a little more for those hamstrings and the spine here. Just hold for a few seconds, and then bring it back. And then arms out to the side again, rotate this way toward that opposite foot, hand to the outside of the foot. If you can't get all the way to the foot, go to the outside of the leg. Just try to hinge it forward as much as you can there. All right. Great work, you guys. I'm really proud of you. It might be different than some workouts you've some other workouts you may have done before. But hopefully it was challenging in a good way. And like I said, if you struggled at all with it, keep coming back to it. Okay, you will get better with it. And like I said, the more you improve that stability and that balance, the more you're gonna be able to progress with other movements in your other workouts. So yeah, great job. Keep it up. I'll see you next time.